Welcome to the North Field at the Terry Fox Athletic Facility for another edition of Rogers Sports exclusive OCSL Men's Premier Soccer here on Rogers TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm Graham Ivory, joined alongside by Gordon Smith. Gord, very hot, warm, dry one here tonight between the Ottawa Falcons Fury and the Ottawa Royals.
Yeah, the conditions aren't ideal. I mean, certainly it has been a very hot week here in Ottawa. The ground's hard, the ground's difficult to keep under control. The grass, unfortunately, seems a little bit too long for my liking. I'm sure some of the players that like to use the ball at their feet are going to have some issues with it getting stuck, especially on the side to our right here as we're going on the camera. But the fact of the matter is we've got a team here in the Ottawa Royals who perennially have been one of the better teams in the OCSL. Bit of a down period right now for them. They're struggling. The last 4 games have been quite poor. 2 ties, 2 losses, and they're going to have to really pick it up here tonight if they're going to try and keep pace with Gloucester and Capital United at the top of the men's premier in the OCSL.
And as we have a look at how these two teams have fared over their past 3 games, you can see just exactly that, Gord. The Ottawa Royals winless in their last 3 games with 2 losses and the draw. The Falcons Fury, on the other hand, they're starting to rebound after losing their opening 3 games of the season. They've won their last 2, including a meeting against this very Royal side back on the 28th of June. So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams match up after, already playing each other about 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
there's obviously going to be a certain measure of revenge being looked at for the Royals against the Falcons. Royals-Falcons have been perennial rivalries over the years. I was involved in a lot of the games myself back in the early 80s, late 70s, Graham. But the fact of the matter is both these teams have to collect maximum points tonight, because when we get to the standings in a few seconds, you're going to see that already the 2 teams right now, cream of the crop, are Gloucester Celtic and Capital United, and a win for Ottawa Royals tonight edges them a little bit closer to possibly pushing for, maybe not the championship, but certainly second place. Any team, either of these 2 teams lose tonight, and as far as anything goes, you could be finding yourself in a relegation battle.
Yeah, because 3rd through 7th, as you can clearly see, it's very tight, and exactly that for the Ottawa Royals. They can start to try and catch pace with a win here tonight with the top 2 leaders, and for the Falcons Fury, after an unfortunate 3 losses to start the season, a win tonight would bring them back to 500 and get them back on track.
Yeah, and obviously the bottom 2 spots will face relegation, so there's always that issue holding over you during the course of the season. You've got to start banking points early, because when you get to the tail end of the season, especially for a team like the Falcons, with a younger team, a lot of kids go off to college, back to school in early August, you're going to start to have to draw on your reserve team. And it gets a little bit tough at the tail end of the season, because these teams like the Royals, the Gloucester Celtics, who don't have an awful lot of players going away to school, they've got their entire complement of players. They know it's going to be time for them to bank some points. So right now it's really imperative the Falcons get the points in the bank with 3 points here to start off tonight.
Well, it should be an intense one here tonight. We're not just talking about the heat. The opening kickoff coming up next here on Rogers TV. Elliott unable to win that ball away from Stephen LeMay, plays that one out wide for Morrow. Morrow cuts it back for McHugh. McHugh tries to chip this one over the back 4. Here's an opportunity. And Scheitterlein sends that one high and wide.
Well, Scheitterlein, obviously a terrific start to the season. 5 goals, leading the Ottawa Royals in scoring, but he's also second in scoring in the OCSL, tied with Nick Sonsini of the Capital United that we saw last week in the men's premier game of the week. So you have a situation here where certainly the Royals can score goals, there's no doubt about that, but they've got to make sure they're tight at the back. Of the top 3 teams right now, they've allowed 10 goals. Gloucester and Capital United have only allowed 3 each, Graham. So that's obviously the difference. Those top 2 teams can score goals, but they can also defend very well, and that right now is just lacking a little bit in the Royals' end, making sure they're not allowing teams to get early goals and early leads against them, to try and get some passing and movement from your wide men up front and behind the back 4s. I think the one concern the Falcons are going to have right now is they've only got the one striker, Cam Davis, and he's playing up there by himself with about 3 or 4 midfielders behind him. Oh my goodness. Dear, oh dear, that's shocking.
Giveaway there, and in the 8th minute, the Ottawa Royals will take the lead. Defensive breakdown by the Falcons Fury.
Well, there was absolutely no danger there at all, Graham, and for some reason there just seemed to be a bit of a mix-up and why it got to a situation where there was such a close play in the 18-yard box. I don't know, but here we can see is a ball played back now, so we don't really see anything as far as being able to see how that played out, but that doesn't make any difference. Christoph Scheitterlein gets his 6th goal of the season now, and he has put himself all alone as the 2nd top scorer here in the OCSL in 2012.
Cam Davis now looking to hit back for the Falcons. Davis down the right side, trying to find a seam into the middle, works his way into the 18-yard box. Good defensive effort there by Alec Edgar to ward him off to allow LeMay to come across and win back possession for the Royals. See if they can settle into some play here. That one given away through the middle. Ryan Brusso surveys his option, elects to go to Zach Drake. Drake.
Offside.
And to Castilla.
And when you're playing with that sort of lone striker, Graham, with so many players just behind you, you've got to make sure that you get forward into supporting roles. And a couple of times Davis has done well. We've seen an awful lot of that last year as well. He did extremely well. Here we see this ball getting played back, and it's just a very poor first touch. 2 errors there, Graham. Decision by the fullback to play it back to him, especially when he was going to be under pressure. And number 2, the error by the goalkeeper, with the first touch being very, very heavy, making it easy for Scheitterlein to just stop in, get the first goal here tonight very early. And that's exactly what the Royals needed. They had side, Graham. And I believe the player that was coming in behind, I think possibly it was Albert, number 11. And there we see the scissors kick just at the edge of the 18-yard box. Sorry, Brandon Albert, I think, was coming in behind the player that initially made the header. And unfortunately, not enough power by the header to bother any goalkeeper, but he's onside once again.
Scheitterlein, he'll try his effort from well out, and he's got it again.
Wow, what a terrific goal.
Christoph Scheitterlein, his 2nd goal of the game.
And again,
in the 17th minute, and you can see why this guy's one of the leading scorers in the league.
Most definitely, Graham, but you've got to have done your homework on this. You've got to know he's one of the better players on the park. First of all, you can't allow him time to bring the ball under control. Second, you can't allow him to turn and shoot. That was all 25 yards. Possibly thought the goalkeeper might have done a little bit better, Graham. It looked like a fairly comfortable stop. It wasn't that far away from him. But wide open. Nobody closes him down. Good strike. Goalkeeper down to his left. Unfortunately, couldn't get down quick enough. And the ball's in behind him for 2-0. But as I said, just poor slack marking inside the defensive third, Graham. He wasn't picked up, number 1. And number 2, nobody closed him down. They all stood off, and he got a free shot away, 2-0.
So back to Cody Kazda, now Brandon Albert. Albert into the middle for Brusso. Under pressure right away from Sam McHugh. No foul called there. And McHugh sends that one out wide. Again looking for Scheitterlein. Pokes that one across. Here's an opportunity for the Royals here. Cutting into the middle. There's a strike. And Tim Engert makes it 3-0 in the 20th minute. And the wheels are coming off for the Falcons Fury. The
wheels are certainly coming off. And I mean, Scheitterlein was almost shaping up for a hat-trick goal there to have a shot. Did the right thing, saw the overlap on the left-hand side. A lovely ball down the channel. Not enough conviction in the tackle there for me, Graham, and as the ball's played out, he just takes his time, sees the space opening up. Goalkeeper, no chance on that. And at 3-0 with less than 20 minutes gone on the score clock, Graham, it is looking horrendous right now for the Falcons Fury.
Brandon Albert to Cody Kazda. Olawale tries to play that one down the line.
Engert coming late, Mariano coming late, but they're very well organised. We've got a break now here for a water break midway through the first half, well, 27 minutes through the first half. But the Royals doing a terrific job on the defensive end, Graham. 4-5-1. When they lose possession, they're all back to help out, and they're really controlling that midfield area, which we talk so often as being crucial. The Falcons, inside their own half, they're being allowed to pass the ball around. When it gets into the Royals' half, though, they're getting closed down, they're getting harried, they're getting pressured, and it's making it really tough for the Falcons to build up a play through the middle. They're constantly having to hit a long ball to Davis, and unfortunately, he's 1 against 2. It's really tough against, I believe it's Nemorin and Edgar, and it's almost impossible against those 2 very senior players, very mature players, Graham, to get behind them.
And we'll have a look at all 3 goals that we've had here through the first 27.
And there's a first mistake.
Minutes.
Goal back to the goalkeeper. Poor first touch, and Scheitterlein just rolls it into a gaping net. The second one, the ball goes long. It sort of bounces around the central midfield area And here's the mistake there. It breaks to Scheitterlein, and the defender just backs right off him, Graham, doesn't get closed down, and from all of 25 yards drives the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. Again, another win inside the midfield third. McHugh with a lovely chip down the right-hand side. And as the ball's played across there to Engert, just cool as a cucumber, slots the ball into the right-hand corner for